when I was in 7th grade, my teacher said, "Don, you better stick with art because it's the only thing you're any good at." This is a retrospective. It's 50 years of work. And it's been interesting for me to look at this and realize that I've done a lot of work over the time. It led me to start thinking about how it was that I came into art and it evolved as an artist. And so I'm going to tell you a couple little stories. When I'm not in the studio, I'm thinking about what I might do with some problematic piece that I've got going on. And we'll see. What if I do this and what if I do that to it? And it's not easy, but it's easy work. I mean, mixing colors and playing them in and organizing some sort of pattern, but it's not easy to do something that has a uniqueness about it, I guess is what I really want to say. When I started getting interested in making paintings or making art of any sort, the country was just getting over social realism. It was something that was so over with that everybody was, when I was a student, was trying to do something else. Anything that had a figure in it was questioned.
Yeah. I know that you're a collector. You travel the world and you want to see art, and
Yes.
you collect art. I know when you come back from trips, you say, "Well, I've done it again." First of all, just talk about the excitement of collecting work and how you got into that.
It started out by just trading work with other artists. The first photograph I ever bought was by Irving Penn, and he is one of the greats, but his work wasn't expensive until, of course, the spigot has been shut off on that particular artist. There will be no more Irving Penn photographs. And that's true of any artist, really, that there's a finite amount of time that you have to work. And I feel good about the time I've been able to put into this since I retired. Because you can see I work down here nearly every day, and whenever I come down, I think, I've got to clean this place up. But I don't, because I want to get to work.
John, one of the things I've loved coming over your house over the years is seeing this work that you've done out here in the patios. It reminds me of your paintings.
When I moved into this house, I thought this yard is way too big, and I wanted to break it up. So I started looking around for stuff, and then sometimes there's a real interesting tile that appears. I'm told by my mother that from the time I was old enough to walk, I would be picking up stones and bringing them back to the house. So, I don't know. I had a studio down in Venice for a while, and I just picked up stuff on the side boardwalk and brought it back to the studio and played around with it, and this is what comes from that kind of thing. And so I don't know what this is either. When this show is up, you'll see a lot of red and yellow used together, black and white, red and yellow. It is a very comfortable combination for me. I like it a lot. But in thinking about putting this show together, I intentionally worked away from that so that it wouldn't seem like I was a one-note artist.
Yeah. This, whenever you say you worked away with it, did you work towards colors that you just don't like?
There are no colors I don't like.
But
John,
take a walk around.
you've done it again. You've made a wonderful installation.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, it's interesting for me to, I mean, come on, as I've been preparing this show, I've been thinking about what I did when and so forth, and I've done kind of a retrospective in my head. And it's interesting to see all this material up and this I think it works pretty well. Yeah, that's a nice it's a nice painting. I hate to say that about my own work, but
when you finish a piece, do you feel like, okay, this is really good? I mean, is there
sometimes,
do you know it, or does it happen, after a month of not looking at it and you come back and say, oh, you know what, that's a lot better than I thought?
There are times when that happens. Usually, it's always kind of a battle to try and make something that is interesting and not predictable. Sometimes I'm not good at it, and I have a bunch of panels in my studio with paint on them. I won't call them paintings, but there are some pieces that I've just never really been effective, and so I will work on them again, of course. It's an unfortunate fact that a lot of artists, and I do it myself sometimes, just keep working on the same darn piece until you call it quits and leave it alone. It's still a work in progress, and you can't judge it. Declare victory and move on. Get a new idea. Well, this has been fun talking to you guys.
I'm glad.
Well,
I know sometimes it can be a bit of a struggle to be on camera and have people.
oh, I'm not paying much attention to the camera, but this is what I miss about teaching. Talking to people who are younger and are groping for exactly how they fit into the overall scheme of things. I enjoyed teaching a lot. I was happy to retire because it gave me more time to work. Sometimes at the end of the day, after teaching, I didn't feel like going to the studio at all. But one has to satisfy that need. That's a need to work. If you don't work and feeling like you're not being fair to yourself. Okay, I've spent it all. I can't think of it.